Very good morning to everyone who has made it here to the first ever Erudite Talks Season 1. I welcome you all. This event would definitely not be possible without our amazing sponsor, Test House.
It is an honor to be surrounded by so many special people on this gracious occasion. As Chanakya rightly said, the fragrance of flowers spreads only in the direction of the wind, but the goodness of a person spreads in all directions.
And for today's speakers, we have some very talented people. We have Mrs. Vidhya Abhijith, Mr. Abhijith HK, Ms. Samridhhi Mandawat, and we are missing Ms. Sireesha Bhagavatula. I guess she'll be joining us a little later.
Ms. Sireesha Bhagavatula is an amazing singer who has worked with gems of the Indian music community like A.R. Rahman and S.P. Balasubramanian.
Mrs. Vidhya Abhijith and Mr. Abhijith HK are the brains behind Codewave, the company that has transformed design thinking in India.
Ms. Samridhhi Mandawat is an author, a world record holder, and a Padma Shri nominee. We extend a hearty welcome to all our speakers present here today.
I also extend my warm welcome to our POD staff present here. I'm sorry if I'm not able to see how many POD staffs have we here. Are you guys sitting amongst the crowd? Yeah, they'll be joining us later. Thought they were there. Okay. I welcome all the students also who are also here, and actually more precisely the future leaders of sorts who are present in this room.
So Robin, what is erudite even?
Well, Shruti, I guess the question is more, who is called an erudite, much rather than what is erudite? Because erudite means that if you know, it's used to describe someone who has or shows great academic knowledge.
Erudite is the Oratory Society of IIT Madras BS. From your social media feeds to IIT Madras stage, we bring to you influential leaders, entrepreneurs, artists, and celebrities to share inspirational stories and life-changing experiences from their journey of redefining success.
I guess I must start on introducing a POD staff that's sitting right here in front of me. He is Mr. Nitin Kushwaha. He's a project officer, NPTEL instructor, and data scientist. Sorry I didn't include you. Anyways, to show what Erudite is all about and what we have in store for you, I'd like to play a video. So the guy who's operates the video, the goal that we're trying to achieve here.
So our goal is to inspire and motivate you to pursue your own dreams and to reach your full potential.
Okay, boy, that's a lot of words. I guess what you're trying to say is, have you guys watched Avatar 2? How many of you all have watched Avatar 2? Okay, I'm so sorry for the hands that are down, but I'm going to spoil it to you. So basically, there's a scene where people hunt down whales and kind of like extract their this special juice called Amrita from the brain, if you guys are aware. So, I mean, I don't want to hunt the whales down, but the analogy is that's exactly what we're trying to accomplish here. We're going to extract as much knowledge as we can from our distinguished speakers.
So Robin, this Amrita aids in tapping into your champion mindset, basically. And we can't wait to hear from our incredible guests who are here to share their wisdom and insights on what goes behind in the making of an exception.
So, to join us on stage for the first ever talk of Erudite Talks is an inspiring woman who holds a world record for being the youngest female author to have donated all her royalties for women upliftment. She was nominated for the prestigious Padma Shri Awards and has also been titled as the next Kamala Das at Gujarat Literature Festival for a book called Unobliterated Unspoken Emotions.
Her book, Parables and Secrets, was ranked #1 in Amazon's bestsellers for children category. Her book, Unobliterated Unspoken Emotions, stood on the 49th rank in Amazon's bestsellers under the women category and bagged the best books to read this 2019. So I hope you guys read through this book because it looks like it's amazing. And it is by the title this title has been given by D Mode magazine and top 100 debut author by critics Critic Space, Literary Journal, and Best 100 Authors by Author Pages magazine. She's a guest columnist for the Policy Times every month. So, after listening to these many achievements, I can only ask one question, Robin. What are we even doing with our lives?
I guess we make jokes for a living. Anyways, it's my pleasure to welcome Samridhhi Mandawat on the stage.
Welcome, ma'am.
Hello. Vanakkam IIT Madras, seniors, colleagues, and friends. Thank you so much for a wonderful introduction. And today I'll be speaking on social presence empowered by economics and culture. When you actually hear this term, what is your expectation? Like for next couple of minutes, 20, 25 minutes, what are you expecting? Just one random thing. One random thing. Very quickly. Maybe you. Anyone? Yeah, sure. Yeah, go on. Well, about self-dependency, yes, I'll be covering that point. Thank you so much for the mirror. But yeah, talking of the same, the vastness of any society and the subsequent presence of the entire human mankind has known is what has made us where we are. Today, as an author, I stand in front of you in the capacity of an author, and I'll be speaking on why it's the artists or it's the people, the entrepreneurs who are actually on the other side of the ring and where the social presence is actually being validated. Needless to say, when I was growing up, books have been one thing that have always were my best friends. They never complain, they never demand. So, the lonely fat woman, a lonely fat child would only have books to her rescue. And to me, when I came to Hemingway's quote, it mentioned, if you want to do something worthwhile, just sit in front of your typewriter and bleed. This was one of my early instances as an author. Well, when I was growing up, there were a couple of questions that what do I want to become in my life? Why do I want to become anything, if at all? So we all want to become something or the other. Like again, I want to have an audience poll. Who want to become what? Like, what were your childhood dreams? Yes, sir.
So hi, we all want to become, we want to differentiate from others, but this word is making similar to everyone.
But what was your childhood dream?
I say I want to become a teacher.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you are one.
yeah. I'm a teacher right now. I'm teaching you in this such a large audience through this degree.
Okay. A big round of applause for your teacher. But you know what? What I wanted to become? I wanted to become Ashwathama. Like, I'm not kidding. Actually, my grandmother actually gave me वो अमर चित्र कथा की magazines आती थी. Is everyone comfortable with Hindi? Yes. ठीक है, मैं हिंदी में बोल. I'll speak in English. Okay. So मेरी दादी जी ने मुझे अमर चित्र कथा की मैगजीन दी थी और उसमें मैं महाभारत पढ़ रही थी. And from there I was like, I want to do something big enough that I am immortal. So I wanted to become Ashwatthama. Very naive of me to not actually comprehend what immortality meant, but that was my journey. Those were my inflections. The other incident that happened was I was with my parents at an art exhibition. Beautiful art, beautiful paintings and sculptures, they were all auctioned. They were all being auctioned, and they were being auctioned posthumously. So that got me thinking, even if you're alive or dead, if you want to make an empirical impact, you just have to be there. So today, as you all radiate this humongous synergy, is the reason why I stand here, and is the reason why my books are bestsellers, and is the reason why we have people like Vidhya and Abhijith with us. So what was the thing? Like, before I actually talk about the social presence being empowered, I really want to talk about why such empowerment is required and this process of what this empowerment looked like. I would like to take you through a small journey. I came across a book, a very small book. You could say a monograph. I came across a monograph, and as I turned the page, there were just 2 words, and that changed my life. The words were, look, look. Look, exclamation mark, look, exclamation mark, and then the book began. It was then that my naive constructiveness that I thought, nahi, mujhe Ashwatthama banna hai. I was like, nahi, look, the observant, me being observant. So sometimes it's not about the books that you read, it's about the access to the stories that you need to have. I was born and brought up in a joint family, and I was like, not that much of a pampered kid, but to an extent, and a supremely gifted child, as in, like, everything I wanted, I had. My parents could say never a no. So I was a gifted child like that. So whatever I asked for, I got. I wanted to watch movies when I was in 3rd grade. I had access to them. I wanted to read books. I had access to them. I wanted to watch TV. मिले जब हम तुम आता था, जब parents मना करते थे, TV नहीं देखना है, I had access to that. And that was the point of my life that I realized, even if not books, I can have stories in other formats, because all that we need is communication. So books have been a major part in my life later, but before that, these were the stories. When I used to go to my grandmother's place in a remote village in Rajasthan with no access to mobile phones at that time, no access to electricity, we used to go to a pond, take out water, bring back to home. वो कभी कुएं में से पानी निकालते थे, सिगड़ी पर गैस में आग जला के खाना पकाया करते थे. उस समय जो सारी बातें होती थी, those all came to me as stories about my ancestors, stories about who Mandavats were and why we are here, why we chose this particular place in our life, and why we have settled here, and why we were warriors and then turned to businessmen and stuff like that. The stories that run in our family, I was just fed with those stories. And I understood one thing. If you want to write, you want to have that context to a story, it's not particularly that you have a story. In this entire process, I never had any story. Only thing that I had was how to build a story, how to build a plot, how to actually give details to things, because whatever grandmothers and grandmothers and my fuajis and everyone used to talk about, they always talked about detailing. And that is where I learned about details. And that is what actually had a turning point. Well, when I started writing and uh, when I actually very consciously thought of writing, I started reading this book called Little Women. A very amazing, very amazing book. I cannot explain to you what impact it has in my life, but whatever I wanted to do because the March sisters did. There were 4 sisters: Amy, Meg, Beth, and Joe. Beth dies in the story. I'm so sorry if I'm giving you the spoilers, but Beth dies in the story, and that was, and I was so consumed in that I never realized कि बाकी सब जगह क्या चल रहा है. In the school, I was reading The Little Women. I never used to go to the playground. As I said, a very fat child I was, and I'm still. I never used to go to the playground or play. I was just used to be in the library or somewhere around the water coolers or at the bicycle stand, just reading stories. And at that time, when Beth was about to die, I could not stop myself but to consume that story. And that had a great impact. One day we were attending our morning prayers, and I did not stand up for the morning prayers, and our class teacher, Miss Sananda ma'am, she saw me, and she was and at that moment she didn't complain, but she was like, she just called me out, and she was like, you didn't do the morning prayers. I know, I'm sorry, ma'am. I was tall, so I was always on the back. Not because I had any choice, but I was tall. So I was always a backbencher. And she called me in front of everyone, and I was like, oh shit, ab to lag gaye. I came, and she was like, I was hiding that little woman with me, and she was like, what are you hiding? तो मैंने बोला नहीं मैम कुछ नहीं है. She was like, I will make you stand outside my class for the rest of the year, or tell me. I showed her Little Women. And as I told her, she was like, why did not you attend the prayers because of this? Manula, Beth is dying. I cannot afford Beth to die. I wanted to read every detail about her. And that is where I actually saw myself, that I was so much meditated. I mean, I was in that Zen zone when I was reading books. It was more like a meditation to me, because it was like not just meditation, it was more like a path to rescue. If I never wanted to attend the family functions, I would just be at some place and I would just rescue that. Not that I'm an introvert or a geek or a nerd or anything. It was just my personal choice of not being there. It was just my little gateway to heaven. And that rescue moment actually was a life-turning moment. So I told, yes, these were the incidents. That journey evolved, that journey started. But apart from that, what was when I actually stepped into this industry, the publishing industry, what was the factor that actually backfired was that people don't read. It was just me who read. So how should I maximize my authorship? How should I maximize my readership, my viewers? And that is where this entire internet started, and the magic happened. Things got banned, things got published elsewhere. There were a ruckus created, and then the entire dum of things that happened, and that is where I realized, if you want to be in a space, it is where you own up. So lately, I have drifted away from writing fiction, and I have started writing non-fiction. I've started writing policy. I've started writing on policies. Started writing on economics. But then, again, one thing that remained constant was the audience. So can we please, for once, clap for ourselves for being such a lovely audience? One. Just one thing that remained constant, and that was the audience. And as I began, and when I began, and I was like, I said, okay, this is because of the humongous energy that you carry. It is because of you guys, we all are here. And it is exactly the same. So, the same thing also carried forwarded in the other talks and in my books as well, and where the audiences were the primary epicenter to the stories, be it the Bollywood or the cricket. Not just the cricket as in the cricket, but even other sports as well. But in India, Bollywood and cricket are the major have the major spectators. So be it the Bollywood or the cricket industry that we talk of, the market share that the South Asian diaspora have, particularly India, it is us, the population, that have actually impacted the social presence worldwide. America Got Talent. I'll share a very beautiful story. America's Got Talent never had any Indian contestant in top 10. But as they started getting viewership from India and the TRPs roared, they understood, and we all know last year or before the last year, a year before the last year, we had an Indian winner of an America's Got Talent. And they replicated the same with Britain's Got Talent as well. And needless to say, the South Asian diaspora, that the power we have, the humans, like the people, the Indians, we have so much of potential that, of course, Sir and Ma'am will speak of, but we have so much of power in us to be a great audience and to support our artists and our entrepreneurs and politicians everywhere, our people. We have that power of supporting our people so much that we are everywhere. So, before I end, of course, I would just say one more thing, that we as Indians have this thing that only we can make an impact to. Only we can have an upsurge to, we can have that surge to, and we can make that mark. But again, with this growing intolerance thing for little things, I just request one thing. That one thing that I read in my third standard, and that was, look, 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 exclamation, look. Thank you. Do we have anything that we can interact with? Maybe we can take up after that.
Maybe some questions, guys, for Ma'am? Anyone you have a question? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I just want to add something you talked about. Yeah. So you know what privilege we have in this and in India, right? What is the privilege we have? We can fill the gap. See, the difference between in India and the America is, see, here our parents allow you to study for 25 years, 30 years, they can afford your money. But in America, they cannot afford. So I'm working in research lab, so we talked a lot as a very high level. So the thing is ki in America, after 18, parents will not afford the child funds. And once they go for graduation, they have lot of banks loan. And they lag with the masters and the research.
Yeah.
Where we fill the gap, we have to take oath, we have to fill the gap, we'll go there and we'll come with such a universe come.
Just to have a synopsis, I'm so sorry, just to have a synopsis of it, Indians are like the moon. So, like the analogy that I'm drawing here is that moon, if we walk on moon, we will not be able to, like the way I'm walking right now, I won't be able to walk the same on moon. But moon has the power to drive the tidal forces on earth. So earth is the entire world, and India is that moon that is driving the entire tidal sources across the world. And we as Indians should be proud of it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So in today's world, we keep running towards something all the time. To quote Three Idiots, life is a race. We keep running. But today we have learned that it's important to look for the details, to stop, and to see what's happening around us. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for those insightful
Thank you so
words.
much, ma'am.
Thank you so much for throwing light on some really unique approaches to elevating one's social presence.
So, how many of you liked her speech? How many of you got something of value? Yeah, that's a lot of hands. Almost all, I'm guessing. Okay, wow.
I think that's what Erudite is all about, right?
Exactly. So it's fair to call the first talk of Erudite a success. That's the spirit. Moving on. Well, we have some interesting questions for you all. It's actually a quiz session to make it interactive, and it's written here that we have chocolates for the winners. Oh wow, okay. Okay, if someone's hungry, this is your chance to strike. So anyways, moving on to the quiz. We have a couple of volunteers to choose who raised your hand first. That doesn't count. So yeah, first question. Who is the co-founder of Apple?
Please do not shut out the answers. The volunteers will come to you and then say the answer.
See, there's a very priceless possession that you get when you raise your hands, which is a wonderful piece of chocolate. So this is a very serious competition. So yeah, who is the co-founder of Apple? A. Steve Wozniak, B. Steve Smith, C. Steve Harvey. You can, yeah.
The one who gets the mic gets to answer. Simple.
Yeah, maybe give the mic to him.
Steve Wozniak.
Yep, you are right. Can we give him our chocolate? Yeah, sure. No chocolate? We have chocolate? Okay. I was just shocked for a second. Sorry? Yeah. Yeah, there's your box.
Can I get one, Piyush?
After, okay. What's the second question, Shruti?
So the second question is, which form of communication is most critical to teamwork? Is it messaging, arguing, or listening?
Volunteers? Who?
Listening?
I'm sorry, yeah, listening? Yes, you seem to have the right answer. That's because I have the answer here. So yeah, let's give a round of applause as well. And a piece of chocolate. The third question is, who provides capital to a startup against some amount of equity stake? A, venture capitalist. B, founder. 3, CA. I can't hear you.
The capitalist.
The capitalist? Yes, you're right. It's an obvious answer. So yeah, these questions are gonna. I think they are tuned to introduce our next speakers of the day. So pay some attention. The fourth question is, Shruti.
Which company works towards changing the design thinking game in India? Is it HUL, Amway, or Codewave?
If you paid attention to my introduction, you'd probably know the answer to this. Who's saying? Him? Yeah.
There's a
he-
volunteer
He
answering
gets
here.
a chocolate.
Okay.
So yeah, the next. Do you have one more question? I guess yeah, we have one more question. Why is my mic sounding weird? Check. Yeah, you can. Okay. Who are the founders of?
Codewave. Is it Vidhya, Abhijith, and Abhijith HK, Madhuganda, or Nitin Kamath?
I guess we all know the answer to that one, don't we? It's not. It's not an option A. So we will probably distribute the rest of the chocolates for the next quiz. So yeah, moving on to introduce our next speakers.
So, behind every successful delivery of service are the finest qualities of the human spirit and an organizational structure that nudges people to do their best selves at work. So, all of these are not just mere words, but they are preached and they are in practice at Codewave. The founders of Codewave are literally soulmates.
Okay, more like code mates sailing towards their goals.
Oh, like Codewave. Okay, got it, Robin. Nice.
So yeah, coming back to our guests, Mrs. Vidya, and I'm so sorry, Mrs. Vidya and Abhijit, Mr. Abhijit.
So,
Mrs. Vidya Abhijit is the co-founder, director, and head of design thinking. She has completed her education at NIT Jaipur and later at IIM Bangalore.
and Abhijit HK is the co-founder, CEO, and head of business and digital transformation. He has done BTech in computer science from PES Institute of Technology. In today's information hyperness, it's harder than ever to eliminate the noise and to get the signal. And Mrs. Vidya Abhijit believes that it's not your fault. And I guess that's also going to be one of something that she's going to talk about. So, they know partnership at all levels, be it life or entrepreneurship. Leading Codewave to what it is today, I'm sure there is a lot to learn from them. Be it about business, technology, or life, gear up for some amazingly enlightening session.
Yeah, so with that said, please welcome Mrs. Vidya Abhijit and Mr. Abhijit for their talk. They're going to be talking on a life of authenticity, empathy, and freedom. So yeah, wonderful. The stage is yours. Thanks.
Okay. I can't forget this photograph. Right? I can't forget the time this photo was clicked. The guy who clicked this picture of us said, "Ma'am, don't show your teeth and smile." Sir, you can show your teeth and smile, but you don't show your teeth and smile. Suddenly I became so conscious. I was like, oh my God. And then for the next 50 of my photos, I was super conscious and I was trying hard to smile, right? So that's how we fear looking ordinary, right? So there's one thing all of us are scared of. I think that's the fear of being judged by everyone as something that is ordinary, something that is small. Today my topic is to thrive being your raw self, real self, how to be your authentic self, have a great relationship with yourself first, and then have a great relationship with others as well through empathy, and how to live a life of freedom. That's what I'm here to talk about. So one of our customers came to us and said, Vidya, we are a corporate registered in the US, but we are all an Indian team. We want a website for our company, but we don't want any brown faces in it. Please don't show Indians on the website. Please put some white faces and maybe some Spanish, Mexican people, but don't show Indian faces. So that's how uncomfortable they were being their real self. It's not just with you and me, right? Businesses also have this fear of looking very ordinary. They have a lot of peer pressure. They want to look good. They want to look extraordinary. So, but the law is this, right? The more you try to impress others, the lesser impressed they will be. This is the law, and this is true for just about anyone, whether you're an individual, whether you're a company or a group of students trying to go on a project. The more you try hard to be cool, the less cool you will be. So nobody likes tryhards. Nobody really likes somebody who tries hard to be themselves or something. This is how we were in our early days. This is how Codewave started. We were just 4 people trying to build WordPress sites. And we were very proud of our story, our reality, right? We didn't own anything except a chair, probably. That's all we owned in the first few days. But we were not uncomfortable with our reality. We accepted our real selves. This was the first version of our website, what we had. Not the perfect website, but we were very happy doing it. This was the second version of the website because from WordPress sites, we started doing more applications, we started doing complex portals. Then we evolved our web identity to showcase our newer capabilities. So we chose an evolved identity as we went, right? And we didn't try to look perfect. Now, this is the current website we have today. We are one of the very few companies in India that transformed design thinking, empowering people to become entrepreneurs. And I'm really proud of what we have today, but we were not desperate of having such a glorious website on day one. We were very comfortable looking very raw, flawed. All we did was showed up with what we had. Right? So make your own, be comfortable with your own truth, right? So you'll stand out naturally. You don't have to try hard to look convincing and cool. That's the point. Second pillar of authenticity is transparency. See, if you can speak your truth. This is an example of an employee who was taking a leave. He could have easily said, sir, ma'am, I'm suffering from fever and therefore I'm taking a leave, right? But he didn't do that. He actually said, I'm going on a road trip with friends. There is a backfill. So he was actually being transparent. He let people see who he was. He let people see how he thought, felt, and acted, right? So that level of transparency he was comfortable with. So that's the second pillar of authentic life. You're being transparent about your truth. Right? And more you're fearlessly transparent, more people will trust you. That's how you build trust. You don't fake it and build trust. Nobody has anyone tried to be fake and been trusted by anyone else? People love the truth. People love to know your truth. Yeah. One of the stories from our journey of entrepreneurship was scarcity. First 3 years of Codewave, we had a great journey. We had an organic growth. We didn't spend anything on ads or marketing. Still, we got customers. We got people joining us for our culture. But in the first 3 years of starting up, we met our first crisis. That was the time when demonetization, GST and all happened in the country and demand for some of our services dropped. But we had supply in surplus. It's a typical economic situation, right? Economic crisis where there is no demand for your services, but you have a lot of supply. So what do you do as a company? I mean, if you have to keep the lights on and survive as a business, either you have to let go, fire people, cut costs, and keep the lights on, or what else you do? So at the time of crisis, what we tried instead, I know the photo is not loading up, but what we instead tried doing is, Abhi and I went to our people. We just showed up as our vulnerable self. We said, guys, we have a situation, right? We are in deep financial crisis. Our demands are dropping, debts are piling up, losses are piling up, but we have to make this business survive. So what we have decided is, we'll not fire anyone. We'll travel with every single person on board. But the cost of that is, all of us have to take a delayed hike for the next 1.5 years until our business becomes normal. Some people really got pissed off because they really worked hard through the year to earn that hike, but again, this didn't go well with them, so we started getting a lot of resignation mails. That was a soul-crushing moment for us as founders because it's hard to see those resignation mails coming at the time of crisis because at that time you want your entire team to help you, right? So that was the time, but few people believed in us. They stayed back. they said, okay, let's transform the situation. Let's not leave it at this state, right? Because so many families are going to be impacted by it. So I think the point here is the more you're real, raw, vulnerable, and you're not trying to cover up and be a smart ass, right? You're just trying to be vulnerable in front of your own people. The more they understand you, the more they appreciate you. And the faster you ripple fake relationships from your life is what I learned personally. So until now, I think we saw what does it take for you to be an authentic person, improving relationship with your own self. Now let's see how to have a great relationship with others with empathy.
Yeah, so this is one of the stories that we always tell our teams, new people who join in as well. So Vidhya was talking about the first 3 years was really good, and suddenly we hit the plateau. And things were continuously dipping. I mean, there was demonetizations, and then after 6 months, there was GST change that happened, and we were predominantly dependent on the Indian economy. Most of the works that we were doing was with Indian businesses, and typically people wait and watch for 6 months, right? So, you know, we were plateauing, and the costs were rising. So around that time, there was another thing that happened. So Vidhya was talking about the resignations, right? Many of the people didn't believe that we would survive as a company. They moved on, and when they were checking their PF, they also noticed that there were a few months of due. And that's when this happened. So one of them complained, the PF department. Everyone understands Provident Fund, right? PF. I understand some of you have come from different jobs. So, right. So our first goal was to give salaries. Doing salaries on 1st of every month. So this got slightly delayed, and someone raised a complaint. And PF department is super brutal, if you guys know. So they keep, one thing that they do really well is, keep that compliant thing up and running. There are a lot of checks, and even if you don't have a register where you're punching in the hours, although as a company we don't believe in tracking time, but they expect you to have that thing, with you. So there are a lot of compliances that they want you to do. So this was like a gold mine for them, right? So they came and they called us, that we are visiting, we are kind of coming. It's almost like the IT tax rate, right? That they're coming in, they're wanting to meet us, and this PF officer comes down, and he has this judgmental eyes, right? I know what you've done. You can't escape now, kind of a thing. Look in his eyes, and then we started having a conversation. We really told him why was there a delay in even paying, so we were going through a crisis, and we know for a fact that we had the skill set. We did not fire anyone. We wanted to wait it out, and we wanted to do salaries on time. That was our number one priority at that point in time. And we said over the last 3 years, we've never missed, paying salaries on the 1st of every month. And that PF officer didn't really believe our words on the first time, because again, they're institutionalized to not trust you, right? So you're just trying to escape is what they thought. So he actually went through the proof as well. Like, typically in the PF Excel, you'll see all the people that are there, their salaries, and how over the last 3 years he took his time, almost 10-15 minutes. He went through it in detail, and then he says, I really can't believe someone complained against an employer like you. Why he said that was, he also noticed that we had given hikes almost 3 times every year over the last 3 years. We've consistently been sharing our profits to the teams. And when something goes down, so this complaint came in, and he was able to empathize with us. In fact, his own son was working in an IT company, and he had really bad hikes over the last 2 years. So he knew the amount, and he really reflected that we were, doing really a great thing, kind of sharing profits. So he empathized with us, and he wanted to help us out. So he gave us some extension of time to kind of make the thing happen. He got the complaint nullified, and also he advised us not to take compliance lightly, right? Because again, the penalty that you're paying there, the interest fee and the penalty that you're paying is almost at 36%, 40%, as against the bank loan, which would be 12, 13%, right? So it doesn't make any economic sense as well. So that's when we realized we had paid a lot more than what we had to. So, but again, the whole point was from previously who came with the judgmental eyes, he transformed being empathetic to us, and then he in fact turned to being an advisor. So the whole point of the story is, like, the less you judge others, the more you can connect with them. You can make relations happen, and you can be when you are in someone else's shoe, you'll really be able to connect and make a difference and bring action. Another thing that I want to reflect upon was again during this cycle, right? During the crisis situation, some of them left, some of the people left Codewave, right? The others who remained, they were super anxious, right? So what's going to happen to us? Okay, I believe that the company can come back, but there are again three different types of people, right? One who have been there with us for 2-3 years consistently from start, who have believed us. So for them, like, will I be left alone? Is there a path to profitability? What's happening, right? So this was the question always running in their mind. And then there were these new joinees, interns, etc., for whom they were worried, so we had work from home even before COVID. So we were a very flexible workplace. There again, their worry was, are my leads coming to office? Whom I'm working with, my project team members, would they come or not come? Are they working from home? They had their set of questions. And then there were people who were on bench, right? Vidhya was just saying earlier. So they want to contribute in different ways. Is there a struggling project? Can I go and transform that? Is there any new sale activity that's happening where I can help? Like, let's say, or let's say I'm a sports enthusiast and there's a football app that's upcoming. I might as well do a POC and help convert that sale, right? Because I'm not doing anything else right now. So these were real conversations I've had with team members, and that was the need sensing. The second pillar is about empathy, is about need sensing. Really hear the unspoken needs or even hopes or fear, right? And we transformed, right? So all of these things, what I talked about, which is one is people having the fear, will this company survive? Or interns thinking, my team, will they come and work out of office? Can they be of help for me? How can I reach out? Or even people on bench, how can I help others with other struggling projects or new sales, right? So we created this TV dashboard and streamed all the data live. Like, these are all different projects. The red ones are struggling projects. These are the team members that are there. Inside it, there are color code as well, which you can't probably see. The green signifies people who are coming in to office. The orange signifies people who are working from home remotely. So people can plan their things accordingly. We also had people who are available who can aid you, right? So that was also streamed. So there was another screen where we also transparently showcased our sales data, new prospects, what kind of projects are coming in, what kind of conversations we are having, what is our confidence scores, etc. So again, our team members could come in and contribute in their own ways possible. So we converted a fear or heard the unspoken needs and made it as an opportunity. So more you listen to what's not said, the better you can really solve problems. So if you go and ask someone what's the real problem, they might not be able to tell, exactly. Or you forget the solution. Even the problem, they can't clearly tell you a lot of times. So you have to sense the need, understand, empathize, and then kind of create outcomes. Okay, for some reason the images are not loading. Sorry guys. So the third pillar is equality. So here, actually, there was a beautiful image of our teams working with one of our customers. So the yellow, just the arrow is there. So here you have to imagine the customer sitting there, and this was not a meeting room or anything. This was like a simple space. We have a lot of these social spaces. So in one of the social spaces, our team members were working alongside a customer and bringing value, right? So yeah, so a lot of times what happens is when you don't believe you can add value or you are equal to the other person, you end up either dominating if you feel that you are better than the other person, or you end up being submissive, right? So, whatever you need, I'll get it done. But when there's a sense of equality, right, that I can add value, that's when you truly start adding value. Again, there are multiple instances that happen, but again, don't go beyond titles is what I really say. Customer is not a king, right? That's what in Codewave we believe. You might have all heard customer is the king, correct? But frankly, customer, does he really want to be the king is the question these days. Especially in the business like ours, they don't want to sit on top of your head. They don't want to tell what to do. They want you to be doing what really will transform outcomes for them. So we are in the business of that, and that's why it's even more important for us to look at each other as equals and communicate when something is not happening, and driving outcomes and creating value on a continuous basis. So again, more you see people beyond titles, the easier it is for you to create value. So always look at possible ways to create value is what I'd say. Just to quickly recap the two things, authenticity and empathy. Under authenticity, we covered on how to be your raw self and shine through, and keeping it always transparent, and that is also being authentic, right? Others know who you are with a pinch of that. And again, vulnerability is something that you can wear vulnerability as a strength. It's not a weakness, it's a strength. Be real you, don't be afraid to be vulnerable. And under empathy, we covered not having, remove the lens of judgment. Always be open when you're approaching someone. You'll find new things which you wouldn't otherwise when you start listening. And the second one was always hear what is not really said. Be it with your customers, your parents, or anyone else, right? The worries are different. What they say might be totally different from what they really mean or what they really fear. And the third one is see everyone as a human being, right? So, don't go by the titles and be worried, how will that person think or what, always plan to create value and, try to solve problems. The next bit, we want to talk about freedom, right? So this was good. So we talked about being authentic, true self. And then we talked about being empathetic. Next is, how can you achieve freedom? Who doesn't want freedom in their own daily activities? Is there anyone? You want that a little bit of more space, a little bit of more time to do what you really want to do, right? So again, these are some of the code waivers. We have a lot more examples, right? So this is Raghunandan, who's a guitarist, who's a vocalist, who has a band called Mysore Express. He's also a creative designer in Codewave. And this is Shilpa. She's a Bharatanatyam dancer. She was also a coder earlier. She was a React developer, front-end developer. After a couple of years, she felt that was not her calling, right? So, and then she shifted to being a designer, again, UX designer, and now she's also getting into the cultural space. She's a lot more people person. So she's discovering herself and, being of impact in the place where she's really passionate about. Again, we've had a lot more examples like, a mechanical engineer who has become one of the tech leads. We've had a self-started civil engineer who's become an AI/ML engineer. Such beautiful stories. And one thing which is common in all of them, right, is, they were finding their true, passion, and then, you always hear about this ikigai, right? Everywhere in LinkedIn or any other place you hear about ikigai, the Japanese word ikigai. Like find what pays for you and also find what you're truly passionate about, right? So finding your purpose, or and being good at that, and which can generate value or monetary value, right, is something that's truly unique. And I'm super proud of all of you guys. I mean, you all, I think, trying to change your career paths. There could be two different things. One is for monetary value. Second is you really love doing what you do. So if you can find a mix of both, then nothing like it. You will not feel the daily grind, right? You'll not start counting the hours. You'll start enjoying the work. That's the true spirit. Until then, my only recommendation is don't stop. Find your true calling. Then you will naturally excel in whatever you're going to do. So, don't stop here. If this is your true calling, being data scientist, AI, really amazing. So I'm sure you'll all have great paths. So the more you love what you do, the less you'll need an escape for. So that's what I was.
Okay, so all of us want a life we do not want to escape from, right? So that's how you find a path of purpose and impact. So you really love that path and you put in your heart and soul into that path. I think that's a great point on freedom lifestyle. The second point on living a free life, right, is getting into your flow state. I love this point because, when my week gets really overwhelming with a lot of things to do, this is exactly what I do. I break down everything I need to do into smaller chunks, which I can achieve in 25 minutes. And then I use this timer to set the 25 minutes time box and conquer each of those items that I need to do. It's really very freeing. The more you are productive, the more you are in your Zen mode, the more you switch off your distractions and work from your flow state, the more you can be free. I think it's a little paradoxical here, ma'am. How are you saying you have to be very productive and focused, then you'll achieve freedom? But this is the reality. The more self-disciplined and focused you are, the freer you will be. Yeah, the third pillar of freedom, I believe, is being a self-managed individual. You don't want your parents to tell you what you have to do. You don't want your teachers to tell you what you have to do. You don't want your peers to give you peer pressure on what you should do next, right? As a self-managed individual, I set a vision for myself, how my future should be. I set my goals, right? These are some of the goals that I set for myself. Make Codewave a unicorn and, read books, travel the world, get my diabetes back to normalcy, accelerate Codewave initiatives, accelerate new product development. So I put out my vision and goals clearly out there on my desktop. So I see it every day. And nobody tells me what I need to do. So I'm not reporting to anybody as an entrepreneur, but I report to myself. I have to sleep, conscience clear. So more you are self-managed as a person, more effortlessly your dreams can come true. I want to leave you all with a thought. Okay, looks like maybe it's for another day. But thank you all for the opportunity. It was wonderful meeting all of you.
Thank you, everyone. Is there any questions?
You guys have any questions for them? Yeah. Volunteers.
Hi, ma'am. Hi, sir. Sir, like you said, customer is not the king nowadays. So, Codewave is a B2B platform. Just I wanted to know, how do you manage the customer relationship with the customer in e-commerce platform? So, how do you do that?
Yeah. So again, when I say customer is not a king, it doesn't mean customer centricity is removed, right? You have to listen closely to your customers, keep creating value on a continuous basis. Be it if you're a B2B company or a B2C company, it doesn't matter, right? Because it's all hedge to hedge, human to human at the end of the day. Everyone has similar expectations. Again, so we have a small team called the CNPS team, customer NPS, right? So net promoter score. So they are worried about how are we creating value on a continuous basis for different projects that are running in Codewave. So they again call the customer and take feedback and get a rating of 1 to 10 on a continuous basis. We continuously keep updating ourselves, and if there's any feedback, they again call in a month's time and see if there's any progress. They give this feedback from customer transparently to the team who's working on the project and bring change. So that's in Codewave, but even in an e-commerce domain, right? So again, there the social media, all of that, like getting 1 stars is very, very normal. Empathy is something that will work. You have to really understand the pain of the customer, right? So especially when it's, let's say, something like Swiggy or Zomato, people are hungry when they're giving, if you have to figure out what works, what takes to kind of reduce their anxiety or figure what's not being said. Because call center, if you just go by what they really say, you will not hear. You have to be empathetic and then kind of figure out what really works.
Hello, sir.
Maybe the last question, I think our next speaker is.
Yeah, my name is Harsh Jain. The thing is, in India, I feel like we have barely scratched the surface of the UI UX scope and the UI in the field of UI UX designing. So, what do you think will be the future of UI UX? And because we haven't implemented much in ISRO and everything like that, and whereas in NASA they work with a great deal in UI UX design. So, how is the landscape of UI UX is changing in India, and how can we prepare for it? I mean, the resources.
I think I'll take that question. To answer it very briefly, we are exploring human-centric design. A lot of UX research methods have come in now, so that's what I do as part of setting the design thinking practice. We start with the users. We go where the users are, observe them in their natural environment, how they behave, and then go back to our drawing boards and understand, okay, this is where the user is having a pain point, and then solve that problem. So to answer it very briefly, UX research methods are maturing quite fast, and Codewave is one of the pioneers in setting UI UX practices. Yeah, you can read a lot more about us on the site.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we existed in the first place, also to bridge the design world and the tech world together, because there was a lot of gaps. But thanks for asking that question. Thank you, everyone. You've been a wonderful audience.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. That was amazing, right? Because she's really talked about how our insecurities are fine. It's fine to be human. It's fine to be imperfect. And the reason why Codewave is where it is right now is because their founders have such pure hearts, because they take care of their people. They didn't even want to fire people when they were going through a dip. And their transparency mainly. So instead of calling it a company, I think we can call it the Codewave family. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir, for this wonderful.
I, for one, I feel like I was actually a part of their journey from the start of their company. I actually feel like I just went through the journey. I'm sure the feeling is mutual. Anyways, sure, that's it for our second set of speakers. I think we have a quiz now, I guess. Where's the remote? Let me quickly get the remote. We have another very fun quiz for you guys. Kind of just teasing up the next speaker that's somewhere close by, I'm going to say. So, yeah, for the quiz. First question. Who is the singer of the iconic song Meri Awaaz Hi Pehchan Hai? I'm so sorry if I didn't pronounce that right. I'm not a native Hindi speaker. Do we have any answers for that? Yeah. Do you have a mic? There's a mic over there. So. Sure. Lata Mangeshkar. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, so Lata Mangeshkar is the right answer. So yeah, he gets a chocolate. And the next question.
So, what is the most important habit to follow when you learn Indian classical music? Is it listening, composing, or riyaz?
Yeah, Riaz.
I don't think
No
we have
chocolates
so
for you
many
guys.
chocolates here, so.
Yeah, it's the right answer again. Third question. What sur comes after sa? Okay, we have a mixed couple of answers for that. So we're gonna do re. Okay, he says re, which is the right answer. So the next question is.
Which show promotes singing in India? I don't even have to give the options here. Oh,
Yeah,
Masterchef.
totally, Master Chef. It is. I'm just kidding. The fifth question is, who is the singer of the very famous song? It's our first time running. Uh, it's our first time running the Erudite show. So yeah.
चेक कोई कैसे उन्हें ये समझाए अभी नकार है जाने बलमा घोड़े पे क्यों सवार है जाने बलमा घोड़े पे क्यों सवार है Hey! Hi, hello. Sorry. I think the volume is too much now. Check. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Hello. First of all, namaste to the speakers here. So let me begin with some bit of honesty. This is very new to me. I've never done this. So I hope you all will kindly excuse me if there is any missing on my part. So I'm so happy to be here. Till now, I have always been there, sitting there and listening to people speak. So this is the first ever time I'm standing here, and it feels so good. So, just a second. Check. This mic is fine, or is it? Sorry. Okay, I think this is fine. So let me start by introducing myself. I am Sireesha Bhagavatula. I am from Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh. My native is Vizag, but I stay in Chennai currently to pursue music. So I was born in Chhattisgarh, Raipur. So my parents have settled there. So my grandfather is a poet in Telugu. He writes songs, he writes poems, stories in Telugu, and my father is a poet in Hindi. Apart from doing their jobs, they had a lot of passion for arts. So that is where I come from, because at home there is this musical environment. Like every day there used to be, an environment where we get to learn something from. I listen to music from radio, TV, and that's how I grew up. So I have a sister who also sings. So we both started learning music together. When I was 3.5 years old, I started learning music. So it was even before my schooling. So before joining into a school, I joined into a music class. So that's how everything has started. And I believe it's all because of the support from my family. If they didn't realize or if they didn't find out that I had this passion for music right since childhood, today I wouldn't be here speaking in front of you all. So it feels so great because even I come from an engineering background. So I am a BTech graduate in Information Technology department. So I was a good student. Although I have missed most of my classes because of my career, like I started doing reality shows when I was 8 years old. The very first reality show that I took part in was hosted by SPB sir, SP Balasubramaniam sir. So they say failure is a stepping stone for success, and of course I do believe it. But the very first show that I took part in, I have won. But I think you can clap for that. Thank you. But to be honest, I don't really think it is a win because I was 8 years old. I don't know anything. I was just given a song. My parents used to select the song. I used to learn the song and sing it for them. I didn't know what stage was. I don't know what a performance is. So I really don't consider it a win. So sorry I made you all clap unnecessarily. So the very first experience of a reality show started with a win. So I thought maybe it's gonna be like that. Like I'm practicing well, so maybe I might win in the upcoming reality shows that I might gonna take part in. So just like that, I went to another reality show called Saregamapa in Telugu. So I got eliminated quite early, top 10, even before reaching top 10. So I was like, okay, this is not how it's gonna be. So failure actually should be the stepping stone for success. Everything doesn't start with a high. So then I took part in another reality show. I went till finale because I was then I understood what stage fear is, what singing before legends is, so how important it is to practice well and go. So the third reality show that I took part in, I was into the finals, but again I lost. So after that I went to another reality show because there is this thing, no? If once we get into reality shows, we'll be in that competitive spirit. Okay, let me try again. This time I couldn't win, so next time I'll try. But again I kept on losing, so I felt, okay, maybe reality shows is not meant for me. I'm not good in performing, so let me just concentrate on my studies. And of course, I have always been a decent student. To be honest, I was gold medalist in my engineering, but no, I didn't expect this. This time I really didn't want you all to clap, but because the very first year of my engineering, I was in Super Singer Telugu. Final year of engineering, I was in Super Singer Tamil, so I really don't know when I went to classes. But still, I was interested. Maybe since I was into this music, learning was very, very much fun, and it was kind of a relief for me from music. Of course, music is very much relieving, but I think we all need that balance. It's not always about 24 hours we'll sit and practice. So this was very much interesting for me, and I lost another reality show as I told you. So I thought maybe I should take up a job in an MNC. So I got a job in one of the famous MNCs, and then I got posted in Ahmedabad. Then the same time I have taken part in Tamil Super Singer, I've told you, and I started getting opportunities. I'll talk about it later, what big opportunity that I got. But before that, I got a show in London, and I had to join in Ahmedabad. So I had to choose job or music. So then I started reflecting on what I'm really interested in. Would I be able to sit and do a job, or am I interested in music, although it's not a very stable career? So I think my heart said what it has to say, and I chose music. So yes, coming back to the reality shows concept, so failure as a stepping stone for success, I am gonna stick to this throughout, because whenever I lost in a competition, the next week I used to get a call from one of the very big music directors. Okay, so here we go. I lost Super Singer Tamil. So the next week I got call from A.R. Rahman sir's office. And thank you. So I was like, okay, this is unexpected. I never expected this would happen in my life. And this is the same thing I said when Rahman sir, I sang a song for him, Malargal Keten. I don't know how many of you are Tamil speaking here. So yeah, Malargal Keten, I have sung in front of him, and he really liked it. And he said, "Na vasik poren ungalku." So that itself felt like a dream come true. And immediately the next week I got to sing for him in the movie Bigil. Yes. of course, Talapati sir's Bigil movie la I got to sing a song called Madare. So that is my debut. So again, it's not all silver spoon, they say, right? It was not like that. The very first time I entered into a studio, again, it was a failure big time. Because I was taught a song and I had to sing it in front of the mic and I was super scared. I was literally shivering. So 1 take, 2 take, 3 takes, 10 takes, 20 takes, it kept on going. It was a simple line, but I couldn't sing. So one of the music directors, he said, okay, come out of the studio. Why are you so tensed? You didn't perform like this in a reality show. Why are you doing it now? Then I started crying, of course. So the very start of the playback wasn't very good for me. So I took a lot of takes, but still I couldn't do my best. So after that incident, I was really depressed for a lot of, I think depressed is a very big word, but I was really low for a lot of days, maybe a lot of months. Every time I entered a studio, I used to remember what happened that day and I used to really lose it. The entire spirit of singing used to be gone. So later, when Indian Idol I have taken part in, Indian Idol was again not planned. It was during the COVID peak of COVID time when I got to know that Indian Idol auditions are happening and you can send a video this time. You need not go there and sing because of COVID restrictions. So I just thought, okay, it's just about sending a video. I'll send a video. And I sang a Hindi song since I am coming from a Hindi background. Like I was born in Chhattisgarh, right? So I knew a bit of Hindi. So okay, I'll just try my luck. So then I was called to Mumbai and one audition after the other, I kept on singing and it's not like how you see in TV. It's not just 2 or 3 auditions. To get into theatre round, we have to sing lot of times, lot of songs. There'll be like around 8 auditions from thousands to hundreds to tens, that range it will be. So it is a very difficult process. So I went through a lot of auditions and then came the day, theatre round, where I had to sing and I got selected. I think you have seen me sing Sathiya Tune Kya Kiya. I don't know how many of you followed Indian Idol here. Yeah, so in Sathiya Tune Kya Kiya was the first song that I got to sing. And then Kehna Hi Kya in the next round. And it just went very well. Like, I think there are most of the performances on YouTube where I got to perform before legends. And before that, I have to mention Indian Idol has a beautiful, coaching period that it has given for singers like us. We used to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning before 1 month of the reality show. We used to wake up and we used to practice for 8 hours in a day. So until then, I never knew what practice was like. I just thought, okay, it's just learning a song. And I also took part in this other reality shows where it was never mentioned. I never got introduced to this concept of singing for 8-9 hours in a day. So it all felt so new to me. Like I've seen my co-singers sing, practice for hours, and that really inspired me so much. And then it went very well. Like you all have seen, few performances were very memorable and few performances were okayish, I'm being honest. So it was a great experience. And again, since the voting was there in Indian Idol, I lost, I didn't get votes, so I couldn't make it to top 10. Next week, I got call from Amit Trivedi sir. So I didn't understand, okay, every time I take part in a reality show, I lose it, and the next week something big is happening in my life. So I felt so happy, and now again I am getting inspired. I should take part in another reality show so that I'll get a big opportunity the next week. So just kidding, that's not gonna happen. So Amit Trivedi sir's opportunity is again a very big thing, because being a South Indian, and always, of course, I should accept there'll be a little bit of influence of our accent in whenever I talk in Hindi or when I, sing in Hindi. But I tried to manage it very well. I'm still doing it. But I never understood, like, how out of the world Amit Trivedi sir has chosen me for such a big project which is gonna be releasing on Netflix. So it just happened. I think it's God's grace and the blessings from people around me and the good wishes from people like you all. So it just happened, and it went on very well, and I had another amazing experience of singing live. So do you all know that earlier songs used to be recorded live? Like the musicians will be playing the song and the singers will be singing, and if the singer or a musician misses any part of it, we have to start from the beginning. So it used to go on take from take, and maybe it was a very long process, and I think that is the reason those songs stay with us even now. It is because of lot of effort that every musician has put in. So that kind of a recording. So I entered the studio and I thought, okay, I learn the song and sing line by line. But they said, no, you have to learn the entire song and you have to sing it live. Again, I was like, okay, this is like another shock for me. So first I gathered myself up. Okay, this is gonna happen. You can do it. Then musicians were there. Everybody is a legendary person there. And I started singing Perona Najariya song. I don't know how many of you know. Have you all watched Kala movie? Yes. Oh, that's great. It's an amazing movie, right? Of course, it is a bit, dark, covering many aspects of, that are happening in this industry. That used to happen in the industry, maybe, but it's such a, thought-provoking movie, I should say. So there is a song, Perona Najariya, which in the movie, the heroine will be singing live. So even I had to sing it live. And before Ghode Pe Sawar song, there are few instances where the heroine will stop singing. She'll not do it well, so music director stops her. So it's like, Koi kaise unhe ye samjhaye, sajani, sajani, something like that. She has to stop abruptly. So all that even I had to enact there and act as if I am the singer there, I am the actress there. So it was all a great experience for me. I don't have any godfathers in the industry. I don't have anybody in the industry who would support me, who's like a pillar of support for me. So it was all new. Each and every experience was new for me, and this is another experience that I would cherish in life. So it all went very well. Again, there is a long waiting. I have sung the song in 2020. So immediately after my season of Indian Idol. So for 2 years, I never knew whether the song is gonna come out or what is happening, what movie is it for, no idea at all. I just kept on learning my music and it went well, and December 1st it got released, and it's apparently my debut in Bollywood. So I'm just so grateful for all the experiences, all the failures, to be honest. So it's like you can learn from your failures and from the experiences of others failing as well. So all these experiences added up, and there is still a long way to go. I'm just a beginner in this, so I don't even know whether I am eligible to talk here right now, but it's just the experiences that I want to share so that it might inspire you all. So let's talk about the social presence. So I have to share a small story here. In my school days, every Monday there used to be this news reading. You all know, right? Like news reading, one person from the higher classes, like 10th class, should come and speak, give a speech on the news. So like whatever the news snippets of that past week are. So whenever my turn used to come, I always used to escape. I'm extremely scared to talk. If you ask me to stand here and sing for 20 minutes or 1 hour, I can do it. I know that I can do it. But when it comes to speaking, I'm super scared. So this is like a challenge for me. So my life, there were always challenges. In everybody's life, it is the same. So it's about how you take it up. So I am so glad that I'm here standing and, I'm challenging myself to talk like this today. So when it comes to social presence, being an artist, it is very different. Like there are different aspects of it. Some people have some people are very communicative in the sense they're extroverts, so it will be easier for them to express whatever they're feeling. But some people like me who are introverts, it is very difficult to keep on engaging with the audience or the followers, so-called followers. If you are into Instagram, so we all know what followers and following is. So it's very difficult sometimes. It gets real difficult to keep on posting what all is happening in life. But what I understood from my experiences, be real. If you really want to post or if you really want to share something with your followers, do it. Go ahead and do it. But if you don't feel like, just don't, fake it. Because the more you start faking it, the more habit it becomes, and it'll really, one day you'll question yourself, like, why you are doing this when you're not really happy. So for me, it is always like being your authentic self. When it comes to presenting yourself on social media, I feel it should not be difficult from how real you are as a person. If you can talk directly to a person very well, so let it be the same when you're on social media as well. So my life, to be honest, hasn't really changed when I was into reality shows, when the playback has happened, and even now, it has almost been the same. Just that now I'm getting lot of encouragement, lot of love from people, and to be honest, when I recorded Kala, after I finished singing Perona Najariya song, I turned back and Shekhar sir was there, Vishal Shekhar sir, and he said that recently I've never seen a singer sing a song live like this, so I really hope you go to places. So that is one thing that I would really cherish, because the very first experience of recording I had, it was a failure. Like, I took a lot of takes, but within few years I sang a song in a single take. So it is a very big thing for me. Of course, there is a lot of learning that went during the process. I took up Western vocal classes. Like, I finished my grade 6 in Western vocals. I started Hindustani. I have been learning Carnatic music since 10 years, of course with a lot of breaks in between. So all these things just added up, and of course there is still a very long way to go. So before that, would you like to listen to me sing something? Okay. Okay, any requests? Gode pe sawar again? Okay. Oh, definitely. Yes, I'll do that. So I'll start with Gode pe sawar? कोई कैसे उन्हें ये समझाए, सजनिया के मन में अभी नकार है, जाने बलमा घोड़े पे क्यों सवार है, जाने बलमा घोड़े पे क्यों सवार है, धीरे धीरे जतन करने से दुल्हनिया के खुलते हृदय के द्वार है, जाने बलमा घोड़े पे क्यों सवार है, जाने बलमा घोड़े पे क्यों सवार है. Thank you. And I'll also sing Satya तूने क्या किया. साथिया तूने क्या किया, बेलिया ये तूने क्या किया, मैंने किया तेरा इंतजार, इतना करो ना मुझे प्यार, इतना करो ना मुझे प्यार, दिल के चमन का हंसना तो देखो, जागी नजर का सपना तो देखो, ऐसे हुए हम एक जान एक दिल, तू है कि मैं हूँ कहना है मुश्किल, झोंका बसंती है तू, दिल है बनानी मेरा, दो रंग मिलने के बाद रहते नहीं है जुदा, तो फिर संभाल ला 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 दिल ला 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 जाना कहाँ, ला 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 आ दिल में आ, ला 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 साथिया तूने क्या किया बेलिया ये तूने क्या किया. Thank you so much. So, see, this is lot more easier for me to do, but of course I'm super happy today because I never got to share my personal life so much like this. So even I feel happy to be doing it. So before becoming a so-called singer, see, I still consider myself a learner. I am literally not a singer, to be honest, because Shreya Ghoshal ji, Sonu Nigam ji, Abhijith Singh. So these are all my idols that I really look up to. Of course, we don't need to mention Lata Mangeshkar ji, Asha Bhosle ji. When it comes to South, SPB sir, Sushila ma'am, Janaki ma'am. So there are many singers that I get inspired from, and also there are many singers on social media. Every day I get to listen to songs, and few people have been covering Ghode Pe Sawar, all these songs which I have sung, and even their music is very inspiring. So for me to learn from each and every person out there who is doing their best in life, so that itself is a learning for me. So I still have a long way to go, but before that, from the experiences, from looking up to idols, I always have kept me into that stage where I have to learn every day. So be it music or be it an instrument, be it different genres of music, but this learning has to go on. That is the only way, because now that I have gotten a playback hit, so-called hit, but it doesn't stop here. I have a long way to go. I have to keep on improving myself. So the next time when I get an opportunity to sing live at a single stretch, I should not miss it. It should not be called a beginner's luck. So for that I have to work a lot. So I know that. So that's what keeps me going every day. And also, I think towards the end of the session, I would also like to hear your experiences as well, and also if any questions that you have, you're ready to ask me. I'm just mentioning it here. So, okay, I was given this topic of how effective is a social presence, like how effective social presence a singer or an artist should maintain to get opportunities and to sustain in this field. So yes, I have to accept that most of the opportunities, most of the shows that I have been doing since Indian Idol, since my reality shows, were through Instagram. Would you believe it? So we all think Instagram is like posting the updates and photos, videos, but most of the work that I have gotten was through social media. So we are in this generation where we have to be active. I should not say we have to be, because if we take Abhijith Singh sir as an example, he's not active because he has always been a person who is not into social media much, but still he is like the topmost singer here. So it's not a necessity, but right now it is better to have a profile where people can reach out to easily, because nowadays there are more opportunities. Like every field of course in every field there are a lot of opportunities which are growing now, but in music field especially there are a lot of singers who are doing amazing. So I feel we all should put up a good profile for ourselves where people can easily reach out to us, and for that you have to be active. Like whatever work you are doing and whatever songs that you are learning, if you keep on posting and engaging people, of course it is entertaining for us as well. Being artists, even we love that kind of love we get from audience. So it's just good in a way that if you keep on posting it, it just feels good, and it might also, you never know. To be honest, I think the Kala opportunity I forgot to mention, it was partially through Indian Idol. But before that, I have sung a single called Daraze for one of my brothers. So he worked for Amit sir. So he made him listen to the song. So Amit sir apparently asked, who is the singer? And my name was mentioned, Sireesha Bhagavatula, and that's how I got an opportunity. So you never know, whatever work you're putting out, it might reach anybody. So being aware of what opportunities you might get and being consistent. Consistency is not only about posting, it is about your practice as well. So how consistently you are putting your efforts into learning something new, all these will definitely matter. I'm not preaching before practicing, because I do believe in that. Practice before you preach. So I have done it myself. I am still doing it myself. I still have to do it in my entire life. So that is what I'm sharing with you all. So being consistent in something that you love to do will definitely work. Maybe not immediately, but it might take time, but it will definitely work out for everyone. So I think now we are towards the end of the session, and I would like you all to ask about salary. Like when you're working in an MNC, we generally don't ask it. So it's just the same for us. We are also one amongst you all. So any other question?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
First of all, thanks to you,
Oh, sorry.
Amit Trivedi sir and Amita Bhattacharya sir, for writing such a beautiful song.
I think you.
So I just wanted to ask, in the era of jazz and pop music, how do you feel like this kind of songs? How important are these kind of songs?
Very true. So it's nice that you mentioned, like nowadays we get to hear a lot of remixes, raps, and of course it's not like anything against them, but being in this generation and getting to sing a song like which is recorded in 1940s, which is similar to the songs which are recorded in 1940s, is very, it's not something that every singer will get to sing. That I'm really happy about, and I feel really grateful for it. So since I had this, I think I mentioned, at home there always used to be a musical environment. So I used to sing only old songs. So I used to learn songs of Lata ji's Aapki Nazron ne Samjha, Lag Ja Gale. And there are many other songs. So maybe practicing these kind of songs helped me to understand what that movie actually requires. And to be honest, the briefing that I got from director Anvita ma'am, Amit Trivedi sir, and the guidance, the environment there, Swanand Kirkireji was there, Varun Grover sir was there. So the environment which was created there was so beautiful and so, so pure. So I didn't put any efforts to get into the zone and sing those songs. It all came naturally. And also, I am also kind of an old school person. So this is the very first time I'm wearing a formal outfit and speaking like this. If at all you see me, I'll always be in that long frocks and, even on Indian Idol, I always put kumkum. This bindi never leaves me. I never leave my bindi. So these kind of old school thoughts, of course, maybe might have helped me in a bit, might have helped me to, get into the zone and sing. So that's it. It was not any effort that I put. It was all natural. Okay. Check. हमको मिली है आज ये घड़ियां नसीब से, जी भर के देख लीजिए हमको करीब से, फिर आपके नसीब में ये बात हो न हो, शायद फिर इस जन्म में मुलाकात हो न हो, लग जा गले के फिर ये हंसी रात हो न हो, शायद फिर इस जन्म में मुलाकात हो न हो, लग Thank you so much. Okay, so yeah, I think. Sorry. Okay, my next concert is happening in Chennai. I'll definitely sing that song for you. I think we're out of time now. Okay. So I feel so happy and thank you all so much for bearing with me for the last few minutes. So I don't know what you're going to take from this, but I felt so happy sharing my experiences with you all. Thank you all so much for listening to me.
Thank you, ma'am. That was an amazing session because what I feel is Ms. Samridhhi Mandawat actually talked about looking for details, and at the same time, Mr. Abhijith and Mrs. Vidhya Abhijith actually talked about how it's important to be authentic. I think you have summed it all up for us. And you've also taught us how winning and losing means different to every single one of us because trophies and shields that we get, it might not be the same how we feel about it. So thank you. That's really amazing.
I mean, guys, I as a musician, I guess there are definitely a few other musicians here. I'm guessing you all definitely related her with her like a lot. Nothing comes easy. You always have to keep striving. I guess that's the point I'm gonna take forward from today. Anyways, I actually take this opportunity to kind of apologize for the many technical glitches of sorts, maybe all the inconsistencies that we've had. Anyways, now we have Piyush from the organizing team. I think he would like to do the word of thanks. So this is the last you'll be hearing of us. This is Robin and that's Shruti, and we hope you had a wonderful afternoon. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So this has been an incredible afternoon for all of us. And to begin with a word of thanks, I'd like to thank all the great people without whom this event would have been impossible. Our PODs, first of all. A huge round of applause for them. Whoever is present and whoever is not present. All the POD members, they were like, thank you so much for Sir, ma'am, for receiving our calls, helping us out in the every possible way at any given time of the day. Without you, this event would have never come to reality. This event would not have been possible without our sponsor, Test House. Thank you for supporting us, our vision, and helping us organizing this event. I'll just have the PPT. So, firstly, thank you so much to our society's core team, Kunal, Gargi, Manaswita, Vishesh, Madhuganda, Skandita, Bhairavi, Princey. And yeah, trust me, being a head is a tough job, but I wouldn't have been able to pull this off without the help of these guys and the committee members. The Paradox Margazhi team, executive panel who worked day and night to make this event a great success. We hope we keep delighting you all with such events. We are grateful to you all for being our very first batch of the audience and for being so very supportive too. If your actions can inspire others to dream more, learn more, to do more and become more, you are a leader. Is that true? We are so grateful to all the four eminent guest speakers who joined us today for Erudite Talks Season 1 and have shared their wisdom and knowledge with our audience. So, first we have to show our appreciation, we would like to request Samridhhi ma'am to join us on the stage. Ma'am is an inspiration to many people. She showed the world. Yeah, Kargi, can you please? Ma'am is an inspiration, okay? So she showed the world how important is it to care about others in this world where everyone is trying to pull others down. We are honored to have you here with us, ma'am. Please join us on the stage. Claps, everyone, please. Yeah. Okay, next we have one thing we all need in ourselves is the drive to create something unusual and the unique and the strength to work towards achieving that. Vidya ma'am and Abhijith sir have done that with Codewave and are inspiring others to do the same. They have encouraged the people around them to be their best selves and bring their authentic and real personality to Codewave. There has worked like a charm for Codewave and the company is reaching heights right now. You have certainly made us think about our social presence and how we can thrive when we are in real and authentic to ourselves. Please, Vidya ma'am and Abhijit sir, join us on the stage. Thank you, sir and ma'am. Uh, Life is not waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning how to dance in the rain. And to make us groove on her melodious voice, Sireesha ma'am has made sure that she doesn't stop until she finds her own voice. Her continuous efforts and willingness to achieve what she wants is the kind of passion everyone should have. We won't be surprised if ma'am goes on to gain international fame and tons of love for her melodious voice and soulful voice. In fact, we wish you the best and thank you for sharing your nuggets of wisdom with us on this auspicious occasion. Please, Sirisha ma'am, join us on the stage. Claps, everyone, please. Thank you all, four of you, for unveiling your experiences and in front of us and helping us to understand the importance of an effective social presence. We are grateful to you all. And yeah, any audience who would like to say something to all the speakers right now, you have a 2-minute break. Do you want to question anyone, anything, or suggest something, say something? It's a okay, then yeah. And with this, we are winding up the Erudite Talks season 1 and looking forward to bringing another season soon. Thank you so much, guys. So, live streaming can be stopped.